Welcome back, Focus learners, to another explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly profound spiritual text. Usually when we think of epic cosmic awakenings, we picture a solitary figure, right? Like a lone wanderer up on a mountaintop. But the text we're looking at today, the Ledger of Aleia, well, it flips that entirely on its head. It tells this incredibly beautiful, grounding story of a daughter who actually serves as the absolute anchor for her father's massive cosmic journey. It's just such a compelling look at how profound human connection literally shapes our spiritual expansion.
Okay, let's dive into this with a really powerful quote from the text, spoken by a teacher named Zoran. He says, "Traveler, some children do not grow into their wisdom. They bring it with them." And wow, that immediately establishes the core premise here. Aleia isn't presented to us as a blank slate, or just some kid learning the ropes of life. No, the source material makes it totally clear she's an ancient soul. From the very moment she entered her family's life, she carried this unmistakable, fully formed frequency of perceptive and intuitive intelligence.
Moving right along to Section 1, the Child of Light. The text tells us that souls arrive in our families for a few different reasons. Usually they show up as students, companions, or teachers.
But then we have this fourth category, a catalyst. As you can see defined here, this is a soul arriving not just to learn or accompany, but to actively shape the awakening, life and mission of their lineage. And what's absolutely incredible is that Aleia arrived playing all four of these roles. But most importantly, she arrived as a true catalyst, completely packed with these innate perceptive and intuitive traits.
So, let's look at Section 2, Golden Foundations in Nature. We really need to understand how this cosmic soul was grounded in the physical world, and a lot of that came through a deep, deep connection with nature and family.
Let's move to and see how this builds across her timeline. How exactly does a cosmic soul ground themselves? Well, it happens in distinct phases. We start with 5 years in Del Mar, which was all about this golden security, motherly devotion, and taking in that ocean breath. Then there's a big shift. The family moves to Makawawao, Maui, and here she steps into an ancestral resonance that offered this massive, cosmic spaciousness. It perfectly mirrored her internal growth, eventually culminating in her adulthood as a spiritual guide.
During these key phases, she was just constantly absorbing her environment. We're talking sunlight and ocean breath, feeling absolute unconditional safety and love, taking in the ancestral resonance of the island, and just basking in natural beauty and cosmic spaciousness. And the text really emphasizes that these environments didn't just house her, they actively became the emotional stability that shaped her entire life.
Which brings us to Section 3, Frequencies of the Heart. This is where we look at the core abstract traits that make up Aleia's ledger. And it's important to note, the author frames these as actual spiritual frequencies, not just your everyday personality quirks.
If we look at this breakdown, we can clearly see her innate qualities split into three main areas. We've got wisdom, acting as gentle insight, humor, which is a softening light, and compassion, bringing profound clarity. And guys, these weren't just nice-to-have traits. They were the literal medicine that kept the author's heart completely open during some really intense, transformative years.
Now, just listen to how Zoran articulates this in the text. Traveler, your daughter carries the frequency of a healer. She does not fix, she restores. I really want to pause there for a second, because there's such a profound difference between fixing and restoring. Fixing kind of implies something is broken and you have to forcefully intervene. But restoring is gentle. It brings something naturally back to its whole state. That's Aleia's wisdom. It's warm, it's not sharp, and it heals without ever trying to force an outcome.
And a massive part of that restoration actually comes through humor. Her quick, intelligent, completely disarming humor acts as the light that softens everything and restores balance. Whenever the spiritual journey got too dense or just too heavy, her playful light was this amazing healing mechanism that would just dissolve the tension and bring the family right back to an open-hearted baseline.
Rounding this out is her compassionate clarity. She feels deeply and honestly. She understands without absorbing the pain of others. She understands stories without getting trapped in them. She sees people exactly as they are, and she loves without judgment or fear. I want to highlight that this compassion isn't just some mushy, sentimental emotion. No way. It is a profound, intuitive clarity that lets her be an absolute rock for everyone around her.
All right, moving into Section 4, Anchoring the Cosmic Awakening. Here we really shift our narrative focus to this hero's anchor arc, exploring how her intense human grounding actually allowed for her father's massive cosmic expansion.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it contrasts these two identities. On one side, we have the human identity, Richard. On the other, the fully awakened cosmic identity, Micah. And as the father went through this huge transition, Aleia was one of the very few people who could truly see and equally love both the human Richard and the cosmic Micah.
And because she could hold space for both, she completely stabilized his field. She amplifies joy, deepens compassion, strengthens humanity, softens polarity, and expands the heart. Now, while she isn't part of the group the text calls the radical ones, she is the absolutely crucial human frequency that made his cosmic awakening safe. Without her anchoring him, his highly relational mission literally wouldn't have been possible.
Let's head into our final part, Section 5, Walking the Future Path. This explores Aleia's role as a grounded, emotionally strong adult and the incredible legacy she's building for the future.
Her future role is laid out in a few distinct steps. Step 1, witness the transformation of her father. Step 2, hold the memory and the story of their journey. And Step 3, continue the emotional lineage she helped create. The text makes it very clear. She's not meant to walk his specific cosmic path. Instead, she will walk right beside his human one, securely carrying his light and his teachings into the future.
Which brings us to what might be the most striking line in the entire text. She is not a chapter in your life. She is a pillar in your ledger. Think about that metaphor of the spiritual balancing book for a second. She isn't just a fleeting chapter that you read and turn the page on. She is the structural support. She is the foundational element that keeps everything balanced, standing tall, and true.
And as the text draws to a close, we hear Zoran's whisper one final time. She is the light of your ledger. She's the wisdom that softened your path. She is the heart that kept you whole. It's just a beautiful, quiet culmination of her lifetime role, perfectly summarizing her not just as a daughter, but as a master healer and the ultimate anchor.
This explainer really leaves us with a profound framework to view our own relationships. So I want to turn it over to you. Who balances your ledger? Who is the light in your ledger? Who are the catalysts and the anchors in your own life that make your growth possible? I want you to really think on that. Thank you so much for joining me today, Focus Learners, and as always, keep seeking those brilliant insights.